I have had this for a bit now, and a few people ask me about it, so here is my take after actually living with it. At its core, this is a tall metal cabinet with glass doors, and inside it has shelves that you can adjust. I see it making sense for someone who wants storage that is more closed off than open shelving, but still wants to see what is inside without opening the doors every time. I have used it for a mix of household stuff that I want to keep organized and easy to find, like small bins, extra paper goods, and a couple of display-type items that I do not want collecting dust. What makes this one stand out in daily use is the combo of metal framing and the clear glass doors. The glass is the whole reason I reach for this cabinet more than my solid door storage. I can glance at it and know where things are. That sounds minor, but when you are looking for a charger, a notebook, or a box of labels, it saves time. I also like that it looks clean even when it is full, as long as you keep the inside reasonably tidy. If you are the type of person who tosses everything wherever it fits, the glass doors will basically put that on display, so I think this works best for someone who likes at least a little order. Visually, it is simple. It is not ornate. It is mostly straight lines, metal panels, and the glass on the front. In my space, it reads more like practical furniture than decor. The finish on the metal feels like a standard coated surface. It wipes down easily, and I have not had issues with fingerprints sticking around the way they do on some glossy finishes. I did a few normal cleaning passes with a damp cloth, and it has been fine. On the glass, I do get smudges from opening and closing the doors, so I keep a small cloth nearby. That is not a flaw, it is just the reality of glass doors. Build-wise, it feels sturdy once it is assembled and sitting where it is going to live. The doors open and close smoothly on mine, and the frame does not flex in a way that makes me nervous. I would not treat it like a workshop cabinet you can slam shut all day, but for normal home use it feels solid. The shelves feel strong enough for the kind of stuff most people will store in a cabinet like this. I am not loading it with gym weights, but I have put heavier stacks of books and a few bulky items in there, and the shelves have held up without bowing. Assembly was honestly more reasonable than I expected. I am not someone who enjoys building furniture, but I have built enough of it to know when instructions are going to be a headache. With this, the parts were labeled in a way that made sense, and the steps were clear. I took my time, and it still only took me around 30 minutes from laying everything out to having it standing and usable. The main thing that helped was not rushing and making sure each panel was oriented the right way before tightening everything down. There is one practical detail I appreciated once it was in place. My floors are not perfectly level, and with tall cabinets that can turn into a wobble problem fast. This cabinet has small adjustment points near the bottom, so I was able to get it sitting evenly without doing weird hacks like folded paper or furniture shims. Once I dialed that in, the doors lined up better and they closed more cleanly. That is one of those details you do not think about until you have fought a cabinet that never sits right. In day-to-day use, the glass doors are the feature I interact with the most. I open them a lot so I notice how they feel. On mine, the doors do not rattle and they do not feel loose. I can open one side, grab what I need, and close it without the cabinet shifting. I also like having adjustable shelves because it lets me set up sections that actually fit what I store. I changed the shelf height after the first week because I realized I wanted one taller section for larger containers. That kind of flexibility matters more than whatever a spec sheet says, because your stuff is never the same size as the example photos. I tested it in a few real scenarios that match how people actually use a cabinet like this. One week I used it like a home office cabinet, with paper, notebooks, camera accessories, and a small basket of cables. Being able to see the baskets through the glass made it easier to keep categories consistent. Another week I moved some kitchen overflow into it, like serving pieces and small appliances I do not use every day. It handled the weight fine, but I will say it made me more aware of what was behind the glass. If your items look messy, you will notice. I ended up using a couple of simple storage bins so it still looked calm from the outside. Noise is also worth mentioning. When you close the doors normally, it is not loud. If you push it shut harder than you need to, you will get that glass door sound. So I would not put this right next to a sleeping baby situation and then be in and out of it all night. In a normal home, it is fine. Now I need to address something that is sometimes promised with products in general. There are no smart features here. There is no mobile app. There is nothing to pair or update. In a way, that is part of why I like it. It is a cabinet. It does cabinet things. The most important performance metric is whether it stays stable, whether the doors keep working, and whether it holds your items without sagging or feeling sketchy. So far, mine has done that. There are also a few limitations I have noticed. The glass doors look nice, but they do require you to keep the inside somewhat organized, and they require occasional cleaning. If you have pets or kids who love touching glass, you will be wiping it more often. Also, because it is tall, you want to think about where it is going to go before you build it. Moving it around after assembly is doable, but it is easier if you plan ahead, clear the area, and have help if you need to rotate it through a tight hallway. Overall, my impression is that this cabinet makes sense for someone who wants a practical storage piece that looks clean, holds a decent amount, and lets you see what you have without opening it. It is not trying to be fancy, and it does not need to be. It has been reliable in my day-to-day routine, and it has helped me keep a couple of areas from turning into clutter piles. If you have questions about how I set mine up or what I am storing in it, leave a comment and I will respond. If this video helped, subscribe to the channel and let me know what you want me to review next. Thank you for watching.